Just so you know, this show is about scary stuff. So don't say I didn't warn you guys. And remember, don't be scared.
Episode 50. Homecoming Prince. War Baby here with another episode of Murderous Minors. I hate to be the one to tell you, but cell phones, social media, and the internet don't seem to be helping the long-term emotional development of our children. As we heard about in our last episode, Forsaken, the internet can provide what many see as a safe space. A place where they can let free emotions not appropriate to be put on display in the real world. Kids are beginning these behaviors earlier and earlier, immortalizing their thoughts and feelings the moment they have them. There isn't much we can do about it now except make sure it's understood that kids are seeing and participating in dangerous and ominous behaviors, even if the behavior is merely typing words. As we already know, every damning, regrettable situation began somewhere. Maybe last week, maybe a decade ago. But there's a turning point, an intersection wherein an important decision lay ahead, direction unknown. A change in demeanor, a distant look, threatening words, or outbursts of emotion are often reported after some life-exploding situation has damaged many families and hits the news. Being aware of signs of impending catastrophe is something I hope we are training ourselves to do, because it seems easier than living with the guilt of knowing you weren't paying attention or of not speaking up. This time on Murderous Minors, we visit the Puget Sound area and Marysville-Pilchuk High School, 45 minutes north of Seattle, Washington. We draw the facts of this case first and foremost from the Snohomish County Multiple Agency Response Team report containing over 1,400 pages of documents pertaining to the incident we are about to delve into. SMART, as the response team is known, is comprised of individuals from multiple agencies within Snohomish County, Washington, as well as state and federal agencies including the State Police, ATF, and FBI. Football season had just ended, and 15-year-old Jaylen Fryberg had been crowned freshman homecoming prince. On Saturday, October 23, 2014, Jaylen, his 14-year-old cousin Nathan Hatch, and another cousin, 15-year-old Andrew Fryberg, attended the dance with friends Shaylee Shay Chucklenasket, Zoe Galasso, and Gia Soriano, all 14, to round out their group. Jaylen had a longtime girlfriend that attended a different school, and she had come as his date. The dance had been a success. In retrospect, most of Jaylen's life had been a success. Growing up in the Native American Tulalip community brought him and his cousins a great deal of personal honor. Jaylen and his dad paddled side by side in Canoe Journey, a popular event in the area. Jaylen, Andrew, and Nate proudly attended and participated in traditional ceremonies and were often photographed in feather headdresses. Here's a clip that Jaylen posted online of he and a female friend performing a chant while riding in a car. In honesty, this trio were more than cousins and maybe even more than best friends, almost brothers. Cousin Nathan lived just a few doors away from Jaylen growing up and Andrew just a block away. His family were prominent members of the Tulalip tribes and Jaylen loved being outdoors and was especially fond of fishing and hunting, saying, quote, "Hunting is the best sport there is. I don't always just go out and shoot something. It's not my favorite part about hunting. My favorite part about it is about just being in the woods, just me, my dad, and my brother." Growing up on the reservation meant for Jaylen living in close proximity to mostly his entire family. His dad, Ray Fryberg Jr., and grandfather both worked at the Tulalip National Resource Office. His mother had been on the Marysville School District's board of directors. His grandmother was tribal CEO. There are literally dozens and dozens of Frybergs on Tulalip land. As far as school went, Jaylen was well-liked and mostly well-behaved. Jaylen, like Logan Mott from our Thanksgiving mystery episodes, was also a type 1 diabetic. However, he didn't have any reported issues. A popular athletic student who was on the freshman football team, he wrestled all his life as well. But a friend did say when interviewed that just the day before the incident, Jaylen had told him he wasn't planning on wrestling that year and that he was contemplating ditching because he didn't like that teacher. He went on to say that Jaylen said he didn't like any of his teachers and that he didn't like going to school. Kids in this area are allowed to choose which high school they want to attend, and Jaylen and his crew were ecstatic to get to go to the same school. He had that steady girlfriend who went to a neighboring school, and Jaylen even spoke about a future engagement. Everyone seemed to be adjusting well, except Jaylen. For some inexplicable reason, his transition hadn't been as smooth as his friends and cousins. For 10 days in a row, he missed his English class, and when he was there, he mainly had his head on his desk or his face in his phone. Monday, October 13th, saw Jaylen chosen as freshman homecoming prince, but Tuesday didn't go as well. Witnesses would say that a football teammate who attended the nearby Getchell Arts and Tech High School but played for Marysville-Pilchuk said at practice things like, quote, "Natives are a bunch of good-for-nothing slaves and that natives don't deserve to live. And this is our land, why are you even here?" Such racial bullying was a known issue between these two boys. However, this episode resulted in a punch to the face, a bloody nose, both boys suspended from school and also off the football team for the rest of the year. The season was just about over, and by that Thursday, Jaylen was back in school. Also that Thursday, Jaylen received a text from his girlfriend pointing out his change in demeanor. It read, quote, "You've had a really short fuse with me lately. You're not loving me lately like I know you know how." The young couple reportedly had a history of breaking up and getting back together, and he would tweet things like, "Fuck it, might as well die now," and "You're gonna piss me off and then some shit's gonna go down and I don't think you'll like it." 2 days after that text, the pair would meet up at the local Indian gaming casino to take pictures before the entire group of friends headed to the Marysville-Pilchuk homecoming dance. At an after-party at Jaylen's house, his girlfriend confronted him about messing around with another girl there. The fight almost got physical before friends broke it up. And then, they broke it off. Jaylen texted his now ex the next morning, letting her know he was going into the woods to, quote, "shoot something." A steady stream of tweets and texts from Jaylen followed, and many went unanswered. He bounced between sad, angry, apologetic, suicidal. On Monday, October 20th at 10:21 p.m., 2 days after the dance, he tweeted, "All right, you fucking got me. That broke me." 2 hours later, he said, "It breaks me, it really does. I know it seems like I'm sweating it off, but I'm not, and I never will be able to." Another hour passed and Jaylen texted his ex saying, "Please just talk me out of this and the gun's in my hand." She responded, "Leave me alone," and he replied, "Okay, well don't bother coming to my funeral." 2 days after that, on Wednesday, Jaylen texted her, "I set the date. Hopefully you regret not talking to me," followed by, You have no idea what I'm talking about, but you will. And then, bang bang, I'm dead. She replied, asking him again to stop texting her. At 8:17 a.m. on Thursday morning, October 23rd, Jaylen tweeted for the last time saying, quote, "It won't last. It'll never last." Jaylen continued texting his ex-girlfriend, telling her on Thursday and again on Friday morning to make sure she reads his texts. On Friday, October 24th, 2014, Jaylen texted his friends Zoe, Shay, Gia, and his cousins Nate and Andrew, plus another cousin and another friend, both girls. He wanted them to meet for lunch during the first lunch period. Some of the group had to ditch class to be there. He told them to wear black. At 10:25 a.m., Jaylen texted his ex-girlfriend, family member, a picture of a gun in his lap saying, "Have her call me before I do this." They spoke between 10:27 and 10:29 a.m. He told her he didn't want to be here anymore. Jaylen then texted his father saying, "Read the paper on my bed. Dad, I love you." As he and his crew sat around a circular cafeteria table eating, Jaylen got up and rummaged around in his camo backpack. Without anyone noticing, he pulled out a Beretta PX-4 Storm handgun that he had taken from his dad's glove box. He took aim at Zoe, Shay, Gia, Andrew, and Nate, shooting them all in the head, going clockwise around the table. Then he ran out of bullets. The friend and his female cousin made it out of the cafeteria with their lives. Pandemonium broke out, and social studies teacher Megan Silberberger ran and faced Jaylen, shooing children out of the chaos on her way. They looked at each other as Jaylen was reloading. She made a brave attempt to physically stop him. Here is some of her 911 call, one of many made reporting the shooting. It was 10:39 a.m.
Marysville-Pilchuk High School cafeteria. The shooter, we have many injured. Marysville-Pilchuk High School. We need emergency help right away. Cafeteria, large cafeteria. My name is Megan Silberberger. I'm a teacher. I have the shooter. One shooter. Blood is everywhere. I do not see the gun. He is wearing all black. I'm staring at him right now, sitting next to him. I need staff now. Shooter right here. He is a high school student. I do not know how old he is. I tried to stop him before he shot himself. I do not know his name.
Okay, you said he has shot himself?
He shot himself. I tried to stop him.
Just 4 seconds after Jaylen had texted his dad that he loved him, he sent a group chat to over a dozen family members that he had prepared at 7:44 a.m. It was entitled, "My Funeral Shit." He requested he be buried next to Nate and Andrew in, quote, "brand new expensive as shit camo." Jaylen asked that they apologize to all of his victims' parents, saying, quote, "Tell them I didn't want to go alone. I needed my ride or dies with me on the other side." He made other requests about the music and food to be served. There was meat from deer that he had killed and presented to his grandmother as a gift of love and respect. He asked that everyone get together at their grandmother's house for a family dinner, even though he planned to kill 2 of his cousins in the next few minutes. What he proclaimed to be his last dying wish was that his ex-girlfriend not end up with a specific boy whose name wasn't released. He completed the message by saying, quote, "I love you, family. I really do, more than anything. I needed to do this, though. I wasn't happy. And I needed my crew with me, too. I'm sorry. I love you." 14-year-old Zoe Galasso, Andrew's homecoming date, was a bubbly artist who loved live music and soccer. She died right there in the cafeteria, as did Jaylen Fryberg. Gia Soriano died 2 days later. She wanted to be a veterinarian and couldn't wait to learn how to drive. Her parents donated her organs, and Gia's own cousin received a life-saving kidney. Her family said, quote, "We are devastated by this senseless tragedy. Gia is our beautiful daughter, and words cannot express how much we'll miss her. We've